welcome back to The Topic, Thailand's weekly topical news update show. Now, our first topic. Former Prime Minister Thaksin Shinawatra is currently in the USA on an investment trip, or maybe just touching base with the Thai people over there. Let's throw it to our studio guest, Tom, former Prime Minister Thaksin in the US.
Great.
What's he up to?
Great. You know, he's visiting the people, he's traveling around the world, he's promoting Thailand. Truly showcases that everything that's been, said against him has been politically motivated. The U.S. has accepted him.
No, I don't really buy that.
No.
Adrian,
You're
what do you
jumping to
think?
conclusions there.
I'm not jumping to conclusion. The U.S. will not give visas to anyone with a criminal court case against them. Truly showcases. If the USA is going to give this man a visa, he's clean.
Adrian, I'm
Well,
throwing
it depends,
to you.
it depends
Fight
on
back against
what
this man.
passport he's holding.
It
Depends
doesn't
on how
matter.
he'd
It
go
doesn't
in.
matter, Adrian. It doesn't
It
matter.
doesn't whitewash him from his crime.
I'm not saying it whitewash. It
He's-
just showcases very clearly that a country like the U.S., very difficult to get a visa, and you know this. If the U.S. government is going to give this man a visa to enter their country, what does that say? It says that every country in the world accepts him, except the only country that he's trying to do good for, which is Thailand.
Well, if the U.S. accepts him so much, and if Thaksin wants to stay in the U.S. that much, perhaps he will stay there longer.
Well, I'm sure he's enjoying his stay there.
But let's hope it stays that way.
No, but Adrian, I have to be fair, Jay.
Okay, carry on, Tom.
Thaksin is traveling around the world.
Okay.
He's out there promoting for the benefit of the people of Thailand. He's in the U.S. this week. He's in New York. He's in Los Angeles. He's meeting with Thai people. He's meeting with foreign people. He's meeting with the U.S. people, telling them what a great country this is. I think people have just got to get over this.
Yeah, okay,
If other countries can't accept him, why can't we?
Okay, no, but I don't think it's not really a precedent being set here because
How can it not be a precedent?
Because former Prime Minister is in the USA, even though he has outstanding convictions here in Thailand. I mean, it's
doesn't
always been the
whitewash
case that whenever someone is thrown out of Thailand or not extradited,
Wait, hold on.
They pop up some
It's bad,
How
it's bad,
can
it's
it
bad.
not
No, it's
set
bad,
a
it's
president?
bad from-
The
it doesn't-
president is if you are a convicted criminal, the U.S. government will not provide you with a visa. How can this not be a president? This showcase the number one country in the world.
So does USA law override Thai law?
It's
No, it
not
doesn't.
about that.
It doesn't.
It just means that all the convictions against Thaksin, the U.S., a very democratically elected country, sees this all being politically motivated and has allowed this gentleman to go back into the U.S., where 5 years ago he was, taken out by the people here.
Yeah.
Now they allow him to come back and promote our country. What's bad about that?
Well, the U.S. obviously has remained silent on this. They have not given any reason.
What's
as to why
silent?
he's
There's a stamp on his
there.
visa.
Hang on. I would say this. It's better that he's in the U.S. than he is here.
Why would you say that, Adrian?
Less controversial.
Well, okay, look.
Less problems.
I think-
Less chaos.
To be fair,
Okay, so he's not coming back here for the meantime. He's in the USA, supposedly on an investment trip.
and
right?
it's
So is
A
that-
private
Wait a minute,
investment
wait a
trip,
minute.
perhaps.
Is it a
And is
private
that not a
investment
good
trip?
thing?
Is it
That-
what kind of
and is that
investment
not a good thing
I
that our
don't know.
former
I don't
prime
know.
minister
I don't know.
is out there promoting Thailand to people around the
Well,
world,
it-
getting the right audiences to hear about our country?
It depends on your point of view. But he's in the US.
He is in
he's
the
on an
US.
investment trip. Is it a private investment trip?
Private,
or is,
surely.
or is, or is he representing
He does
Thailand?
not
we have
represent
no
the
idea.
country.
I know for a fact that he'll be in Los Angeles. He'll be in
Yeah.
New York. He's meeting with all the Thai people. He's meeting with a lot of business people there. Look, the guy is there to help promote Thailand. If that's part of interest, look, he's there.
Okay, we're going to have to wrap this one up now. I think we're out of time for the former Prime Minister Thaksin topic.
Well, it's a hot topic.
We'll come back to it probably in the weeks to come. He's always in the news. He's never out of the news. Thai press, they can't get enough of him. I think a lot of people have had enough of him, but we just
Well, I
wish,
think our
we just wish
expatriate
the whole,
friends would like to know
maybe
that.
we just wish the whole situation would calm down a little bit, especially in here. Topic number two, the BMA. They're fighting over the BTS concession. You may have saw this one in the news in the last couple of weeks. The Bangkok Metropolitan Authority, they have extended the BTS, the Bangkok SkyTrain concession for another
17 years.
17 years. Now, what's the story behind that?
Well, I see it as a good thing. The BTS has changed the traffic patterns in Bangkok.
Yeah.
It's much more easier to actually get around. Everyone's property prices have gone up around BTS stations. And, nothing problematic about
My
this.
friend, I don't disagree with you that the BTS is the greatest thing that's ever happened to traveling in Bangkok. I like paying my 10 baht and going up and down, right?
No, it's not
It's
10
not
baht.
10 baht.
Even,
Is it
10 baht
even though,
anymore?
even though
20
it's-
baht, whatever it is.
even though
right?
it was
the
promised
only
20 baht, it's not.
problem with this deal is,
Tom, when was the last time you took the BTS?
actually, I took it last week.
You paid 10 baht?
I paid something. Somebody paid for me. But listen, the problem with the deal is very simple. The concession has not ended, and it won't end for another 15 years. The question is, why would the Bangkok Metropolitan Authority extend a concession for another 17
I think
when the first 15 has not finished yet? Second problem is they didn't take this through the proper channels.
Okay.
The proper channel is to get the approval from the Minister of Interior, whom in reality is the boss of the BMA. So I'm not saying the Democrats did anything wrong. I'm not saying the Democrats did anything
Who is
right.
the current-
It just smells fishy.
Who is the current BTS concessionaire? Okay, are they doing a good job?
Yes.
Look, I'm not saying it's a bad job.
Are they doing a good job?
Yes.
All right? Look,
Do you like the
it-
service?
it-
Do you like the service they
And there's
provide?
probably no one
The
else
whole
who can do
point
it to
is-
replace them.
I don't think that the issue here that we should talk about is whether or not, the service is good or the service is bad. The issue here is, why would the Bangkok Metropolitan Authority extend a concession that won't be over for
I have
15
two-
years today?
I have two reasons. One,
And why didn't they go through the proper channels?
when the BTS wanted to extend the line,
Yeah.
the government did not approve the budget. It used BMA's budget.
Imagine.
There was one. There was
Okay.
one. So BMA did good. They're doing it for the benefit of the people.
Is it for the benefit of the people or for
number
the benefit
two.
of the BMA?
Number two, public transportation is a long-term project.
I don't disagree with you.
It's
I
a
don't
very
disagree with
long-term
you.
project.
I
If
don't
you
disagree
have
with you.
vision and ability to see long-term, you can be more
I don't-
efficient in your operations.
I don't disagree with that. The only point is, if that was the case, there is a proper channel. Imagine if you approve something without your boss knowing. Would that be a proper way to do things?
It depends who your boss is.
Yeah, I'm not a
You have a
legal
boss.
expert.
Then you know something? Then you don't work for that company.
Yeah.
You have a boss. It's very clear. The BMA has a boss, which is the Ministry of Interior. The Ministry of Interior has to approve this.
Okay, so what's the likely outcome here? The Minister of Interior.
It's gonna
the
get scrapped.
It's going to scrap.
It's gonna get
Okay, so the next government's going to come in again, or they're going to.
Well,
the
you know,
next
the-
governor,
the
they're waiting
next-
for the next governor of the BMA, who could be
Someone
current
else.
governor or
Could be
someone
you.
else. Okay.
Next topic.
Okay, next topic, number 3, south of Thailand. As you know, the south of Thailand's been hitting news. There's been continued violence, continued burnings, continued shootings. The Thai military are down there. Seems like they're having a very tough time of things. What exactly is going on down there?
This is a long-term problem. This is a long-term problem. It's been going on. It's been going through the hands of many governments, and no one seems to be able to solve this problem. But from the way we see it, that horrible video of 4 soldiers being attacked by 16 bandits, I would call them. That is a pure indication of the unpreparedness of the military, I would
Well, I
say.
mean, there's clearly a problem down there. Soldiers are getting shot at, they're getting bombed. Every few days there seems to be a new killing, execution style.
5,000 people have
innocent
died.
people are being killed nearly on a daily basis. City centers are being bombed. So why can't the Thai military get a handle on this, Tom?
Chad and Adrian, on this one, I don't think we have any arguments
Yeah.
in the fact that it's a very sad situation for all. But as in anything, it's the act of the few that are, destroying the goodwill of the many. I think, we live here in Bangkok. A lot of expats live here. We see this as a problem far away from us. But in reality, it's sad for those people that are living in it.
more attention needs to be paid.
It's a localized terrorist issue. Okay.
I don't want to go to the word terrorism because I think that's very strong. I think it's an insurgency down there.
Okay,
of
it's an
people.
insurgency, it's a separatist movement, whatever it is.
But as
Okay.
Adrian said, many governments have tried to resolve this problem. I think the fundamental issues, there are people, I read in the Bangkok Post the other day, at the end of the day, it becomes a religious issue.
Is it really
Well,
a religious issue?
look,
or is that just a convenient excuse?
Look, again, I don't have the answer to this one. I wish that somebody would. I wish that tomorrow we can wake up and, our brothers and sisters in the South.
So it's potentially a historical problem.
It's a
religious
historical problem.
problem.
But I think we need to
Okay.
be fair to everybody. I think the military is trying their best. I think the police are trying their best. I think whether it's a democratic government, whether it's the Pua type government, whether it's any government, no one wants to see bloodshed.
Okay, so why hasn't the Thai government or the Thai military learned from internal conflicts or conflicts that have been going on in other countries for many, many years? Take Northern Ireland. take Iraq, take
But look at
Afghanistan.
it, but-
soldiers in those countries during
Look
during those times of conflict did not ride around on motorcycles.
On Honda Waves. No,
They're
definitely not.
in armored Land Rovers. They're in big armored Humvees.
I think
they're in armored personnel
we don't want to
carriers.
get.
Why doesn't the Thai military have
So
this
the
kind of
question.
equipment?
So the question becomes: is negotiation or is more surge in military better? You know, again, it's one of these things, right?
I would say a dual pronged strategy. You have to increase your military presence. You have to train your soldiers to be better equipped to handle these terrorists who are striking for no reasons. I don't even know if they know the reasons they're striking for. Right? You definitely have to increase that protection and then start negotiation. But I think the problem is, who do we negotiate with?
Yeah. But again, this one, Jay, to all of our foreign friends watching, you know, it's something that I think all governments, all sides are trying to resolve. But like you said, whether it's Northern Ireland, whether it's happening in Israel today, whether it's happening anywhere, you know, there's always going to be that group of people. You know, and again, I don't want to get to
There's
a
a
point
fight.
of...
There's a fight going on. There's a
Yeah.
struggle going on. So I mean, I think one of the clear questions that has never been answered up to now is that why aren't the military boys down there properly prepared?
I'll
Why can't they
add one more
protect
point.
themselves?
As I mentioned, 5,000 over people have died over the years since this conflict has been there. But the government today seems to be paying more attention to the 91 people who died during the Richard riots than the 5,000. The attention is a bit wrong.
Yes.
No, but again, I think no one is not paying attention. And to be fair, Adrian, no one's not paying attention to any death. A single life loss, you know, of our Thai brother and sister is a sad day for Thailand. I think, you know, at the end of the day, you know, it's something that's going to be very difficult to resolve. And, you know, all we can do is wish for the best and send them our best of hope down there in the South.
Okay,
That
let's
I
move
will
on.
agree with you.
I think we're going to cut it there, guys. Let's move on to topic number 4 this week. Floods. As some of you may have realized, we had a bit of a flood issue in Thailand last year where something like 1/3 of the country was underwater. Bangkok was under threat. Many people lost their livelihoods. Many people lost their homes. Everyone's holding their breaths. Are we going to have heavy rainfalls? Are the dams going to burst? Are the rivers going to burst their banks this year? Are we due for another round of floods this year? What do you think, guys?
No floods.
Well, interesting, because I read this morning that Mesot in Tak has been declared a disaster area because the river has overflowed its banks. So
Okay.
It has
No
begun.
floods in Bangkok.
it has begun.
No floods in Bangkok.
Will it get worse? Will the dams be able to hold the water? I'm not an expert in this area, but you know, as the Scouts motto, be prepared.
Tom, for last year's floods, was there a man-made element to it?
Look, I think we have to be fair.
Was there a man-made element
I think there
to
were
it?
3 elements to last year's flood. The first one was the severe storms. Right? That's something I can't control, you can't control.
But severe
no
storms
one
can be
control.
predicted.
Again, you can't control storms.
Okay.
Storms can be predicted in
I don't
advance.
disagree with you. Severe storms, that we can't predict. 2, obviously there was a situation with letting the water out of the dams. I think the government this year has done a good job on making sure our dams are not full. 2, except the severe storms that may or may not happen again. 3rd, obviously, I think it was the internal conflicts between the BMA, the central government, people not being coordinated. I don't think this year, with Kun Yingluck now fully in power, with the army now fully understanding that people cannot accept these floods again, that floods again will happen. The 3 things have to happen. 1, severe storm. 2, dams have too much water. 3, people are not coordinated. I can't predict number
So
1.
are they more coordinated
I
this
think
year
so.
than
You
they
know,
were last year?
you see the canals. You know, they're being cleaned. You know, you see the Bangkok governor out there. This one, I'm very impressed. Right?
Yeah.
I'll give credit where credit is due. I actually think the Bangkok governor, even this year, is being more prepared.
Okay.
I think Kun Yingluck is being very more prepared. But again, at the end of the day, the first one we can't predict. So
Did
obviously,
the floods
let's cross our
touch you
fingers.
last year or not,
Oh,
Adrian?
thankfully
It
not.
touched me
Did it touch
heavily.
Have you been properly have you had
Compensated?
compensated
Yes,
for that?
I did actually. I get compensated, and now I
How much
actually,
did you get?
instead of cars, I bought submarines.
How much did you get?
I got money, much like everybody else.
Yeah. Okay. We're
No,
going to
but
move on.
just
Oh no, we're not going to
add-
move on. I think we're.
To add on to this, you know, last year when Tom mentioned that there was a lot of lack of coordination. I think the lack of coordination stems from people who don't know what they're doing, trying to tell people who know what they're doing what to do. So, you know, maybe you should let the experts who know
Well,
what
I think-
to do
I think-
solve
again,
the problem.
and I think
not
this-
let politicians decide
I
when
think-
to open the gates or not.
I agree.
I think there was a moment last year when a deputy minister in the Ministry of Agriculture seemed to take responsibility for some of the floods by saying that they were slow releasing the water from the dam, or they didn't let as much water out of the dam as they normally would, because they wanted it for the rice crop.
Look,
No,
I'm always-
I don't
again,
think that decision has been made again this year.
To all
They've
my-
gone back,
to
they've
all
gone
of
back
our-
to the way it should be, right?
to all of our foreign friends, you know, I give credit to Thailand about one thing. I think you've been here. Thai people make mistakes,
Yeah.
right? But usually we find a way to fix them. It's the Thai way of finding ways to fix things. I would hardly think, unless through the act of the miracles of God, and Noah's Ark were to show up in my backyard, that we're going to have a flood again. So keep your elephants at home, keep your giraffes at home. I think we're going to be okay.
Be prepared,
All right,
by the way.
all right. And on that bombshell, people make mistakes. We're going to take a break, and we're going to be back with our next few topics right after this.
They can never break your pride.
Topic number 9, squatting toilet.
What?
Myanmar might not be so.
I don't think they have a
might-
choice.
they
I
might-
don't
they
think
might
they have
look
a
at
choice.
another country.
I don't think they have a
China.
choice. So wait a minute.
So-
So is this going to help Thailand or hurt Thailand? No to everything. No.
Am I going to get a cheap
Good question.
They can never break your pride. Don't believe what they tell you. They try to sell you. When dreams died, plans fell through. They can never break your pride. They can never take your pride.
How do we go from the AEC, the Democrats, to squatting toilet?